Hello there, Andy. How long have you been here?
Where's you been?
Oh, I've been working. What you doing? Working on the book?
Yeah, here 'tis the 3rd of the month, and I ain't even got my financial statement ready for the 1st yet. Sometime I feel like taking a match and setting these books on fire and starting all over.
You wouldn't miss nothing if you would burn 'em up. Get yourself something that you can read.
Look here. Here's the figures for the month of May, and they are so mixed up that I can't make heads or tails out of them.
That certainly is a mess, ain't it? You certainly got a lot of figures on that page.
A while ago I was adding them up, and I got the wrong answer, and I knowed it was wrong. I knowed I had to rub it out, so before I rubbed it out, my cigar went out, and I lit my cigar. Then I picked up a rubber, and I started rubbing, and I rubbed out the wrong figures. Now I don't know what I had down there.
I know a man that will come over here and keep the books for us for about $2 a week.
That's another result to the president. Don't talk about keeping books. I know how to keep books.
Well, why don't you keep 'em then? You was always mixed up.
The trouble is I ain't got no journal.
What you gonna do with a journal?
That's what you enter stuff with. Every time we take in some money, I gotta enter it.
You will, huh?
Boy, the credit and the debit is all mixed up here. I've been reducing when I ought to be sub-adding or something.
Well, tell me this.
Wait a minute now. I think I got something here. No, I ain't.
You done rubbed out that stuff and messed it up so much there that you can't even read what you is got.
Well, I know business all right. The only trouble is I got my figures mixed up here.
Tell me this. Did you ever hear of anybody selling stock?
Oh, sure. I know all about that.
Tell me this. How you go about it?
Well, the first thing you gotta do, you gotta raise the stock. That depends on if you're gonna sell cows or horses.
No. I ain't talking about that kind of stock. I'm talking about stock in some company or something. You know anything about that?
Oh, sure. That's the main thing I do know about.
Well, how you sell it?
Well, now, what you want to know about it?
Well, suppose a man wanted to sell us some stock in some company, if it was good stock.
Well, that depends on what kind of stock it is.
Well, say that you were selling some stock.
What kind of stock?
Well, say that you were selling some stock in the Fresh Air Taxi Cab Company. I just want to know how you go about it.
Well, now, the first thing you do when you start selling stock in a company, you got to get a hold of some printer and get him to print you up a batch of it, you see. Get him to put gold around there and all that yellow stuff on there.
What do you mean?
The certificate.
This a what?
Amos, when you buy stock in a company, you get a great big piece of paper with a lot of gold on it. That's what we call, in the business world, a certificate. That's the thing that you buy.
Well, what is the certificate?
Well, they got to have a lot of writing on there. That's one thing you know they got to have on there.
Is that good?
Oh, sure. But that depends on how much gold it's got on there.
Well, that's all it is, huh? Just one of them pieces of paper with gold on it, huh?
Oh, no. You got to have a seal on there.
You will, and what's on the seal?
Well, now, that seal, I'll explain that. That seal is what we call a note from the public.
A note from the public, huh?
Yeah. Then a lot of people have got to figure up some figures on there so they know what it is, you see.
Well, tell me this. You got a pencil there on the desk. Can you make any money selling stock?
Well, now, wait a minute. I get this pencil. I'll explain that to you. Now, if you get some good stocks to sell, that's good. I was going to sell stock once, but I figured that I better let it alone till I get a good stock to sell.
Somebody was telling me that the stocks have some kind of interest.
What kind of interest?
I don't know. The people buy the stuff, they get an interest or something.
Oh, there is interest, all right. They got to take interest in it before they want to buy it. That's how that work out, you see.
Well, what is this thing, this here dividend or something? What is that?
Well, you has done heard me say that I'm going to declare a dividend, ain't you?
Yeah, but what do it mean when they say they're gonna declare dividends?
Well, you know what declare mean, don't you? Or declare, or whatever it is.
What do it mean?
Well, if I tell you that I was going to do something, you say to me, is you going to do it, sure enough? And I say, I declare I'm going to do it. There you is, right there.
Yeah, but where do the dividend come in?
That is part of the expression.
What do you mean part of the expression?
Well, say if I was selling stock and I say, I was going to give you a dividend, and you say, is you sure enough? And I say, I declare I is. There you is. I declare I is dividend. Declare dividend. Do you get the disconnection?
I guess I do. I don't know. It's kind of mixed up to me.
Oh, stock is a great thing to manipulate with.
It is, huh?
Yeah, these big men's on Wall Street. They manipulate the stocks all around.
All around where?
Their place,
What place?
Wall Street.
Well, tell me this. Is stocks good to have? Is it good to sell?
Well, there's some good stocks and some is bad. Don't ever mess with no common stock.
How come?
Well, common stock is just like you see an old dog on the street. You don't want a common old dog, so what you want with common old stock?
Well, if you sell somebody some stock, can they make money on it?
Oh, sure. I was talking to some men the other day.
What did they tell you?
Well, you asked me if stocks is good. Well, now listen. These men was telling me that they had some stock. You see, Amos, the trouble with everybody is, as soon as they get something, they spend it. So what you want to do is hold on to what you got.
Oh, yeah, you want to hold on to it all right.
Well, these men was telling me that they bought some stock, and I believe they said the bears got after it or something. This must have been some stock out in the woods. And say it dropped down to some low number so that they had to hold it. If they'd sold it, they'd lost everything almost. So, you see, there's something that you got to hold. You can't let go of that stuff. That's good.
But could a man make any money selling stock?
Oh, that's where the big money is.
Oh, it is, huh?
Yeah. You say, can he make money doing that? Well, now, I'll tell you. You know, I was going to sell stock myself. I might start selling it yet. I don't know if I can get some good stuff to sell. The only trouble with stock, though, it fluctuates.
It do, huh?
Yeah, sometimes it's high and sometimes it's low. That's what you call fluctuates.
Uh-huh. That is mixed up to me, though. I don't know.
Well, tell me this, Amos. How come you want to know so much about stock?
Well, I tell you, Andy, Earl Dixon offered me a job driving his taxi cab, and I told him I didn't want it. And now he wants me to sell stock to the people I know around town.
He do, huh? Well, now listen, Amos. The United States governor is after everybody selling stock.
I thought you told me it was a good job.
Amos, you going right straight to jail. That's the worst thing that you can do. Don't never sell nobody no stock unless you want to go to jail. That big bunk. Oh,